Welcome to Ag, Ammo, and Adventure. Today's episode features a guy who knows his way around premium pork and a deer stand, Seamus Wilkerson of Berkwood Farms. We kick things off with Seamus sharing insights on Berkwood Farms, the farmers, the products, and the opportunities behind the brand. Then we shift into hunting stories where Seamus recounts his first season with our hunting crew. He had chances at some wall-hanger bucks, but let's just say the deer are still sending him thank you cards. Seamus earned his stripes even if the deer walked away laughing. If you've ever shared a hunting lodge with 10 guys, one bathroom, and a crock pot full of regret, you already know the kind of chaos we're talking about. This episode's got ag business, hunting heartbreak, and enough rural nonsense so off the rails even the buck Seamus missed is telling the story around southern Iowa.
All right, welcome to Ag, Ammo, and Adventure. Whether it's planting deer season, fall season, or just a story season, we're going to chew it up and spit it out right here. Todd Coffelt, farm kid living in the city, coming to you with Steve Larsen.
Hello, everybody. Steve and T. Larsen. This is my first podcast after turning 50 years old. You're welcome.
We increased the font on the cue cards. And special guest today, we have Seamus Wilkerson. Seamus?
Hi, everybody. Seamus Wilkerson here. First podcast since I turned 40 years old. We're here at Berkwood Farms doing this podcast with these two cool guys. Thank you.
It's not a competition, is it?
I didn't know we were keeping track.
Well, just so the audience knows, who would win this age competition?
Age and beauty right here, people. Get your votes ready. Get your votes ready. Okay, this is kind of a special edition podcast for us. As Seamus mentioned, we're at Berkwood Farms. They have a store here in the city of Des Moines that is very easy to get to, and they've got a supply of pork for anybody who's hungry. How did we get here, Steve?
Oh, my gosh. Well, do you want the long version, or do you want the semi-short version? You know, I'm a socialite. So last year when I started, that was before I started consulting, even well before then, Todd, when we made our deer sausage, I reached out to Pine Ridge Farms and said, hey, I need some pork fat to make our deer sausage. And you know who helped us out?
Seamus.
A guy by the name of Seamus.
Nice.
And Seamus, what did I give you as a thank you for?
I got a nice little small batch 8-year Whistle Pig bottle.
Everybody's favorite liquor, Whistle Pig. I encourage everybody to try it every once in a while, but not too much. Drink responsibly. And then that turned into a connection every year of getting pig fats and all that type of stuff. And then one day when I dropped it off, I believe Seamus said, hey, do you guys add to your group? I would love to come hunting with you guys. And I said, absolutely.
Quite possibly the second biggest regret I have in my life.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit later, right?
That's awesome.
And so then just before Seamus came to the hunting group, he switched jobs and decided to work for Berkwood Farms. Awesome. And that is what leads us here to the corporate office of Berkwood Farms.
No, very good. One question before we jump. Now, Steve mentioned that he invited Seamus to the group. And our group, there's a rule that you can bring somebody on, but you have to vouch for them. And our group kind of does a self-regulation of who's safe and who's not. So when somebody says they want to bring a friend or a guy they know or a person to go hunting, the first question is, do you vouch for them? And that's a pretty serious question because there are a lot of people you call friends, and there are a lot of people that you wouldn't vouch for, but you still call friends. So it's just something I want everyone to think about that. I hope you all use the same level of scrutiny and support, if you will. But Seamus, has been great. How many years have you been hunting?
We're going on 3, so I'm excited for this year. That 3 years, I appreciate you vouching for me. I'll tell you, after the first year, I kind of wish you hadn't, but...
Save that for later because...
One, I'll say, as far as safety goes, you're right. You can call friends, but you put a gun in someone's hand next to you who's shooting at moving animals. Now, is there a voucher there, right? It's hard to do if you haven't really hunted with somebody before. It's even worse to do when you haven't hunted with somebody before and they apparently can't shoot deer. So, yeah, that first year was something else.
So there's a pattern, Todd, because we talked about when James walks to the group with his head down, we know he either missed a bunch of deer that ran by him or missed a big deer. And I will say Seamus is the same way. I remember after the second push, and we'll get in there, Seamus is walking back. white as a ghost, looking at the ground, and what's going on? I just saw the biggest deer I've ever seen run right by me. Did you get a shot off? Well, let's just talk about what happened before we get into the details.
Yeah, there's a story that'll come later.
That's what it's for. Liars Club is ready. So you Pine Ridge Farms and then Berkwood. Tell us a little bit about the brand Berkwood, the name Berkwood, and what exactly people will see when they see that. Where'd it come from? What is it, and why is it different?
So Berkwood started off as Eden Prairie 22 years ago, and it started off just a small co-op, maybe 8 or 9 producers came together here at State Center and surrounding areas to start this for a place to market a high-end hog. It was like a hobby farm for some people, and then for some people it was their life, but they wanted a place to market a Caribou pork, which is a black pig pork, and it's the highest grade. That transitioned into Berkwood Farms. Some people came, some people left, and so they just decided to start over with a new brand, and that was maybe 16 years ago. And then from there, the producers, the co-op, which is producer owned, decided, hey, we have a good go of it, and they're doing 200 or 300 head a week, not much.
Oh, wow.
So instead of selling it out of the back of their truck, they got a little storefront, did a little retail, and then went out and found a few customers that could handle it. I mean, 200-300 heads, not that much.
Well, let's put that in perspective. If we were to say the average slaughter harvest of a plant, and it varies a little bit, per week would be?
If you're talking individual plant, you're seeing anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20,000 head a day. So that's the big plants are that way, right? Pine Ridge, Pine Ridge Farms, which is now a Smithfield plant, that was 4,400 head a day. We're very small comparable, right? We're not also in that market.
You're not commodity.
We are not a commodity market hog. We are 100% niche, high-end, high restaurant, 5-star white tablecloth center plate.
Nice. That's, and it's delicious, more importantly, or as importantly. So that 200 to 300 a week, how many producers are in the, you've used the word co-op, you've used the word group, you said it got smaller, got bigger, and there's been a lot of change. But Berkwood is a name. You see it at the fair. You see it at county fairs. Now there's a store in Des Moines. How big is that? How many producers is it?
So right now, it'll vary because of the aging group in our co-op. But right now, I think we're about 85 local producers. So 95% Iowa. There's a few outliers in the edges of Missouri, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. But every farm we have is within 3.5 hours of Des Moines.
Nice.
So this is actually the world's largest 100% heritage Berkshire headquarters in the world for a co-op.
Nice.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. How many other niche pork producers are there? If I use those words right.
So I can't tell you how many. I will say in the last 5 to 7 years, there's other programs out there. You got a Duroc program. You have many other that have improved their genetics from commodity volume to a nicer product. 7 to 10 maybe of those are probably within.
Well, Todd, what's your definition of niche, right? Some, you could be antibiotic free, could be considered a niche, or grouped housing could be considered a niche, or as Berkwood is, a little bit of everything that includes a specific breed of animal.
Okay.
Right.
You used the word early on. It was a black
Caribou, black pig.
Caribou.
Yeah.
And
So that's the kind of like when you say niche. Yeah. So what we do here is we really practice with these farms. It's a lot harder with a co-op of our size, but sustainable farming, you know about this, right? So limiting your carbon footprint, like growing your own crop, doing your own row crop, keeping the trucks off the road, but you're kind of feeding your own animals, and managing in-house a lot of different ways. We do group housing, so our pigs are free to grow. Come and go as they please. They're not in a crate. They're not in a stall, and they're raised on hay. So, there's challenges to what we do because we do that, but it makes a happier animal and a better product. So our animals are not very stressed. Actually, they're not really stressed at all, and they eat all vegetarian. So what we require of our producers is to put forth that extra effort, the things that a lot of people aren't doing. We're not racing to get these to market. We're actually trying to get them to a certain weight, a healthy weight, and a long life. They're running about 2-3 months longer.
what's the weight you try to get them to?
285 live. So that breaks down to about a 210, 2015.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So We mentioned earlier that we're meeting at the office here in Des Moines, the office in the sales point of Berkwood. Is it the headquarters that you said, the worldwide headquarters right here?
World largest Berkshire headquarters is right here in Des Moines, Iowa. Thanks for going, by the way.
We're going to call it the worldwide headquarters.
That's right. Pitbull nothing.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And 3.5 hours is where the producers are. Where's your market?
I would say it varies, but that's just because we're right now in the last probably 2 years since I came on board we're changing our market. There's always been a standard of California Prop 12. We meet all the requirements that the California Prop 12 statute states, which kind of separates us from the rest. And then mostly coastal. Midwest is always the last, but there's always more meat in the Midwest. So coastal, because we hit all the requirements for them. Japan, there's a lot of Singapore. There's a lot of export opportunity for us that's a small part of our business, but it is an important part. And right now we're trying to move into the South.
Nice. So, and just connecting dots, we put a lot of information out there, but you're talking about a type of product that is based on the carcass size, how it's raised, and ultimately what the customer wants, what the consumer wants. So you find the specific markets in the countries and regions and locations you just mentioned. Tell us, everybody in Iowa knows what pork is, but so then if
they?
Well, there's a difference. I'll be the first to say there's a difference between pork. What will they notice about Berkwood pork?
So you can come in and we love, it's a requirement. When you come into our store, we're going to give you the store. If you haven't been here before, we're going to walk you around our store. It's not very big, but you're going to see every piece. And what that is our color, our marbling. So we literally have people a few times a week who've never been here come in here and ask us, what cut of steak is this? Because it's got that deep purple color to it, those good marbling fat lines that run through it. And then when they eat it, that provides a flavor that you just can't get anywhere else. It's not like my mom used to turn my pork chops into hockey pucks in the oven because they had to be cooked at 290 degrees in the middle. You can do a medium rare pork with any of our chops or any of our products here.
Our editor may have to remove that comment you made about your mom so we don't get in trouble and make sure that she knows we didn't say it. So,
but he didn't say that about my mom.
No,
right?
And I can assure you, Doc, your mom cooks good.
That's true.
Mom, we're going to talk when we get home.
Well, and so as I walked around earlier and picked up a few cuts because I've had most of them before, I mean, it's truly a display of meats that rivals any locker that you can go to and find it. And we did a podcast with the locker and they had a great display. But for this location being here, you're right on Northeast 14th. You're in the middle of the growing part of the metro area. What's the foot traffic like?
So actually, when you pulled in, I'm not sure which direction you came from, but it's a very dangerous intersection right here. And so
I got honked at for the record.
Yeah, so a lot of people are just trying to survive.
Not because of your looks.
But when they finally catch your sign and they see the cars, because every day Amelia and the team here really do a great job of marketing to get local people to realize this is a place you can come and buy meat. Our foot traffic when I started 2 years ago was probably, if I went on sales, maybe 800 to 900 in sales a week, which is very, very small. And I think she's got it up to anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 sales a week in a year and a half, just by local marketing, because people don't pay attention to our store. They're just trying to get to the intersection because it's a busy one. So we've really put an interest on that, but I will say in a better location, we could probably double that.
So are your customers local? Relatively speaking, they drive by here, they see it and do it. I'm going to ask some questions. Do you do farmers markets?
We do not do farmers markets.
I wouldn't either because people would eat everything you have. Anything you gave samples on, it would be gone. You've seen our deer group go after any snacks you bring.
I'm actually convinced that the only reason I'm still invited down there is because I bring the handballs, and the mini sausages.
And the mini sausages, don't forget those.
That's a fact.
Don't make me swear to it.
Well, so let's take a step back, right? So we talked about the co-op of producers going to harvest facility. The meat goes various places. We talked about food service and distribution. What products does Berkwood offer?
So we do all your main muscle cuts. You're going to use your bone-in butts, your Boston butts, for your pulled pork. We actually make a pre-made pulled pork from our products. save people time. So all you do is thaw it. You can throw it in the pan, however you want to cook that. All your loin up problems. We got the tomahawk chops, Iowa chops, rib chops, boneless to petites. For our value added items, basically we're changing these daily because we're trying to find that taste that some other people can't quite reach, right? So for instance, if you put our pork chop next to a pork chop from a general grocery store, it's going to look and taste completely different. But if you put a product out there that's kind of niche, like we have a producer who makes Wagyu beef. So he's one of our biggest producers for pork, Berkshire pork, but he also does a high-end beef. He had a problem with his trim. We wanted to do something different with our trim because we make a brat patty and a brat like everybody else. So we combined it, we created a Wagshire patty, and that has been a huge driver into our store. So we did some samplings at a winery and a few other places. So not so much farmers market, but just high volume places. And that's driven our store sales quite a bit.
Do we need to go check the grill to see if anything's overcooking right now? Like, as we talk about these cuts, I can't help but think that sampling might not be a bad idea.
No, well, we want to do a Friday sampling here at the store just so people know we're here and come in, hey, try a bratwurst on us.
Did we just make an announcement? Is there an announcement?
I heard it.
Friday, we'll get the grill out.
Wow.
I also, did anybody else pick up that my question was ignored by both of the other hosts here?
Oh, sorry, Ty, were you talking? No, I'm trying.
So that's part of it. That's good. So how many years has the store been here?
I'm not entirely sure when this one started. I think it was like 2012. Okay, this one opened. So obviously we have that giant shed in the back. We kind of store some things there, but nothing crazy. It's like we wanted to do something else. I think right now this store has been great because we have office space, but we want to kind of put something like this maybe in a better foot traffic area.
So go back to where you sell, so many cuts, muscle cuts can be done. What product does the South like? When you mentioned that earlier, what product does the West Coast like? What product does the East Coast like? You mentioned Japan and other nations. What are they interested in? Because bacon goes a long way in the U.S. No matter what it is, if you say it's got candy, if it has candied bacon, people are all over it.
So that's a great question. And I'll actually tell you, it changes drastically from East to West Coast. Just if you're talking domestic United States, like I always tell people, ham is our love language here in Iowa. Like if you love somebody, you give them a holiday ham. Hey, thank you for what you do. And it's just like,
whole ham or spiral cut?
Spiral cut.
Yes.
I thought it was today. To me, it's the cat's meow. It's going to get you there. It's the rabbit's hop. You get a spiral cut ham, you give it to somebody, and they're like, this person cares about me. And maybe in New Orleans that doesn't sell, but you can't sell a sausage in New Orleans because they're very proud of their sausage that they make down there.
Boudin.
Yep, all of that. So like I would never offer that, but I'll tell you, portion cut loins in New Orleans is a home run because they're high end restaurants, like I said. And they don't like food waste. So they, instead of giving them a whole 2-foot long loin, we get them a 8 to 10 inch section, and they can make enough pork chops for that day or for that lunch special or whatever they need. And so that's a big push for us. Like California bacon, which is what we're known for. You see all the awards on the wall for our bacon here. That sells everywhere. It really does.
You got a favorite flavor of bacon? Or does it all go no matter what?
I'm a big fan of the peppered bacon, but I think the uncured,
sugar-free bacon is probably the most popular, and I like it. It's good.
No, okay. So when you say uncured, for the amateurs out there, I'll represent that category for today. If you go to a locker and you get bacon, you can get fresh. Is that the same as uncured?
No. So like here's like if here you can use certain salts and things in there to put
Celery salt.
Well, we have celery salt. That's not technically a nitrate, but you're going to put like a certain type of nitrate in there that's going to cure differently. And they might use artificial smoke. Ours are all hung smoke injected, but we all use the only thing that's nitrate in there is celery salt, which is a natural nitrate. That's not a manufactured. So we get to do that. And that also right now in Iowa, we all talk about this. It's in, you hear it in the news. No one knows what's real, what isn't real. Is it the golf courses? Is it the farmers? But like the water nitrates are high and it's dangerous. It's scary. People don't know what that means. Well, we like to try to help tell that story. Is like sometimes like there's necessary nitrates, but there's also nitrates that aren't the same, that are chemical nitrates. And we're just using the celery salt for ours. So the curing is the same for longevity of our meat, and the flavor's still there.
Well, and so USDA regulates the amount of nitrite products.
There you go.
Right? So 128 parts per million on the finished product. And With the celery salt, they put in a starter culture to convert the celery salt to your nitrite.
Wow.
So that's how you get it.
Bill Nye.
There's those spice companies that have it down to a T on how much, X and Y you put in there, and you'll hit your final nitrite level pretty well consistently.
I look for deliciousness.
We could put that on a future podcast. Make a note, Todd Father.
Maybe.
Hey,
so let's.
Steve and I, the science guy over there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Is that my new nickname? Because I still have a guy
Have
on.
to be Steve Nye. It might have to be. So, but let's be serious about this, because you're talking about the consumers get to decide. So, question I have: do consumers like thin cut bacon or thick cut bacon? Because when
There's only one answer. It's thick cut bacon.
I say it's just bacon.
wow, what a switch!
I say
way to
Berkwood bacon if you want.
Berkwood, baby. There you go.
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know. Nice. Okay.
I use thin cut bacon to wrap my peppers and wrap my filet mignons because they could be dry. There's not a lot of fat there. So I use the thin cut bacon to wrap stuff.
When we have company over, I use the thin cut bacon.
I've never got bacon when I was over there.
Oh, my bad.
Neither have I. I've apparently have been company there, Todd, but I appreciate it.
Okay. So 3.5 hours with the producer.
I'm going to talk to the CEO on this one.
So when you approach a producer about the process for raising the pork and the name that goes behind it, are you looking for new producers? Is it a self-recruiting effort? Do people know Berkwood and they want to be a part of it? And are you still growing? Is it neutral, flat, up, down?
So right now, it is people can apply to become a producer for Berkwood Farms. Now, when you switch into our genetic line, certain things have to be set up. You have to go through a process of, it's 18 months, I guess, from when we say go to starting your farm and your herd with our genetics and getting it up ready for market, right? So 18 months. There's a couple of audits that come involved in that. There's an array of things, but it's not like it's impossible. It's a slower process because most people are coming in from a commodity or a white hog. So the process there is a little different. But yeah, we bring on new producers every year. Some more than others at times, depending on what our company growth is and what we have going on here as a company. So yeah, there's people who really want to be a part of us. And there's other programs out there, and most of these guys have been on a different program, and they usually settle on Berkwood if we have room for them at that time when they apply or in the future.
I just want to get back to the products, right? So they got distribution, food service, a retail storefront. What all can someone get here at the Ankeny location, that storefront?
So if I went around the house right now, you can get your bellies. You get full bellies, you get half bellies. Those are raw bellies, cryovac, so frozen. We don't have any fresh casing here. I just find it easier to have it frozen so people can make the decision when they want to cook. You start there, you get your bone-in butts, which is your pulled pork, smokers, a lot of barbecue people come in here for competition barbecue. You have your boneless butts, same thing. You have your tenderloins. That's mostly going to be the people who want to throw something in the crock pot on the way to work, and then when they get home, they got something they can serve up for the family at dinner. Those are good options. Half cut, quarter cut loins. All of our pork chops, they sell. All the chops sell very well. There's a huge demand for them. All 5 flavors of our bacon, and they're 12-ounce packages. We also have a bulk bacon. It's a 2-pound package. Ham balls are very popular here. Again, in Iowa only. People in Florida. Last week I was down in Florida, and I was like, yeah, you guys should try our ham balls. And everybody looked at me like I was speaking Chinese. Like, what's a ham ball? I'm like, it's kind of like a ham, but smaller in a ball. You're going to love it. And they're like, send me a sample. I've never heard of this. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, this is so good.
Game changer.
It's a game changer. And they're pre-cooked. So you're basically ready to go. All you got to do is just heat them up to your temps.
Did it work?
Yeah, I got some samples out to them. And that was in front of, 30 sales guys, and not one of those sales guys has ever sold a ham ball. I don't know what they're doing down in Florida, but they're missing out. So then you go from that to our breakfast sausage links. We have a maple, we have a regular. Then we got our bulk sausage, Italian 1 pounds, Italian, spicy Italian, chorizo, breakfast sausage, pulled, or just regular pork sausage. Then we go into our mini sausages, which is kind of a newer item for us. For the local people here listening, I'm sure you've heard of it because we did it about a year ago, and we make about 2,000 pounds of them every 3 weeks. That's how fast we're going through these. And they're in 1 pound packages.
With cheese?
Without cheese, we got regular. With cheese, we have, and then we have a jalapeno and cheese that's not super spicy, but it carries that flavor well. Those again are pre-cooked too, and that's done over there in Malcolm, Iowa at Dayton Meat Locker.
Yep.
And this guy, who you want to talk about, he knows how to make sausage. He's good. And then we go into our Wagshire patties. After that, we go to our holiday hams, which is kind of our big push right now. We're going into the holiday season. Your brother know that he helped us out quite a bit. Like, I would say right now, our big push as a company is working with local FFA chapters in Iowa. Because
Tell us about that.
this company is based on getting young farmers back in the business or into the business. So it's not all corporate farming. That's part of the story. That's the reason why this thing kept going. And we have an array of all of our 85 farmers. We have a lot of people that are 19 in our program, 20s, 30s, which is, when you look at the stats for farmers in Iowa, it's 65 plus.
That's
kind of the average.
largest side of the bell curve is what that's.
So we're trying to keep the American dream here in Iowa working, right? And then what's better than farming, producing? So my family all had a farm. I didn't farm. I remained city, but I will tell you, like, I spend enough time shoveling things that you don't want to shovel and complaining about the blisters on my hand. But that's what this company is all about. So we work with the FFAs. This is the first year we're doing it. And we've already got Lamoni and Leon on board, and they're excited, and it's going to raise a lot of money for their programs because, I mean, heck, for the most part, these schools have to do it on their own. And we want to offer them an opportunity to give grandma and grandpa a good holiday ham, one of the top shelf, and then also help their program out. So for future forward, the people that come through it. So far,
That's a big story.
Well, so if someone in an FFA chapter wants to do this, how do they get a hold of you to do this?
So you can call Berkwood Farms right here. It's online. You can find the number anywhere you call, and any one of us in this store knows about this program and can speak on all the details. We have flyers out there.
Website and phone number.
Betterpork.com. I'll give you the phone number here in a second, but thank you for putting me on the spot. Like, I can remember numbers.
But that means you have a website. So that means if you're not local, you can get on the website and order product as well, correct?
One of our biggest customers for our website business is a guy in our hunting group.
Scotcheroo.
Marty. Marty is a home run hitter. He is probably the biggest fan and promoter outside of anybody within the network of Berkwood Farms that I've ever met. I love the guy. He will order every other week, and he just can't get enough.
Next time you send it out, his name is Scotcheroo. I want you to put Scotcheroo
I will
on the
absolutely his
label.
name on the UPS label. Yes, I will.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
Good.
one of the best guys ever. Just good people, but he enjoys it, and he lives way out where you're from.
Yeah, he's a good Southwest Iowa guy.
in sheep country, and I tell you,
Tilly, he's on the hills, the low S hills of Southwest Iowa.
so like I said, like, I bring the handballs down one time. This guy's Marty and his son Clayton. Yeah,
Penwheel.
Penwheel.
But
I'm trying to be proper because I don't want to use nicknames, but I will tell you right now, they are some of the best customers we've ever had. So you can order online from us.
what product did you bring? What products have you brought down for us to sample during deer hunting? You said handballs, the little sausages. I think you brought the pulled pork down one time. We heated
the
up.
first year I smoked the bone and butt.
Yeah.
I made it myself.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, you do that for a group of guys just to catch hell from missing deer for a few days. I'll tell you what, you go back with you come back with some pre-made pulled pork at the next year. I'll tell you that happened.
Nobody's keeping track.
Don't listen to them; they're lying. But yeah, so I brought those three things the first year. The second year, I can't remember. I think I did bring in a couple a loin maybe last year. If not, I was going to do it this year. I know the Wagshire, we did that. We did tacos.
Oh, that's right. You brought the ground Wagshire for taco meat. Yeah. Yeah.
So we've tried some of our newer items for sure, and then obviously the handballs are a winner no matter what.
And for the listening audience, we don't ever go hungry, ever.
No.
But we don't stop for lunch either. All right. And I got to figure out how to bring sandwiches and food with me throughout the day.
I've yet to do it too. I'll tell you, that's the problem.
We'll work through it. Nice.
Remember at our last interview, Doc said that a long time ago they used to stop for lunch.
Well, I
He said it stopped because it took 2 hours to have lunch in the middle of the day.
That's right. And listen, productivity goes down with close time, which we've all seen that. Too good. Anything else you want to bring up with Berkwood?
No, I'll tell you right now, come in and check out the store. I appreciate you guys doing this podcast here, but you guys are fans of it. And obviously we're friends. We've been for a while. let it show you what you can do. It's just a different world. Most people think pork as that bland taste their mom or grandma used to make, and I'll tell you, it's a different world right now, and we have the best. So pop on in, and with food prices the way they are these days, to get a high quality pork, we are not out of bounds on that.
You know what? If Todd, Father, and if we were proactive, we would have said, hey, come in, and if you said you heard it on the Egg Ammo Adventure podcast, you get 5% off.
Let's do a 10% discount.
A 10% discount if they come in and say
that they had to say they listened to it on the podcast. 10% discount, and you never know. Sometimes it's been known to have a bag of mini sausages get thrown your way just to try. So we love first timers. We love telling our story, and doing that when you're looking at the product it's a whole different world. So,
well, between that and the idea for the Christmas list and the holiday hams, I think a lot of people just check the list of getting holiday shopping started. So that's fantastic. Thanks for the offering. And I'm sure I'll go ahead and say somebody's going to take advantage of this, and there will
your mom and my mom, because I wouldn't see listen to the pod. That's okay.
I'll take care of them. Don't you worry about it. I'll be here. We'll make sure they get the good story. I'll hold their hand if I need to.
Make sure Mama Larsen gets that pre-cooked pulled pork, because I don't want it to dry out. Mom.
So you mentioned a couple times that how we met each other and whatnot, which comes back to deer hunting. And with the vouching, Steve invited you, brought you down, and you were hunting with a bunch of people you didn't know, who they're pretty cordial. It's a pretty cordial, amazing group. We everybody gets a.
So we get down there Friday, right? We all
get down there Friday, different times. Everybody shows up, and we're just regular people. What were your expectations going into this? How did you prepare for this life-changing event?
And let me just preface that by saying Steve Larsen didn't give a whole lot of information to Seamus before he came down.
Zero information.
It might have been zero. I don't know. It's been so long ago. But, yeah. What?
So that was a fun night. And there's so many stories to dive into on this one. I get the address. I'm like, okay, it's an hour. It's an hour. I head down and I get to the place, and there's a lot of trucks out front. I'm like, how many people are staying at this house? I didn't know our hunting party was as big as our hunting party. I didn't know we were all going to be freaking back in the Army now, sleeping on cots next to each other. And I walk in, and the first person I meet is Todd. And Todd grabs whatever I had in my hands and just yanks them out and says, welcome. And he carries my stuff into my room. And I didn't know like exactly who Todd is or why there's 60 people staring at me like I have something.
Was Todd staying in the same room as you? Is that how that worked out?
Yeah,
same bed?
It is a twin. It's a good sized bed.
But I'm like, and then I look over, because you always look for what makes you comfortable with the person, the only person I knew here. And I look at Steve, and he's got a mustache that goes like a caterpillar with two tails between his lips, down his chin, connecting somewhere on his neck. And I'm like, what the heck is going on right now?
That was my Steve Exotic phase. The
lion tamer guy.
Tiger Kid, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, Steve Exotic. And since then,
we were all a little bit nervous when he showed up.
The boss
would have been too. Yeah.
The boss has outlawed me ever growing that again.
She should.
So
in fact,
I just put that out there.
Could be in a written law somewhere.
But it was one of the best things. And just so the audience knows, at Thanksgiving, I took Just for Men and put it all black, and put my eyebrows black. And when I went to my in-laws Thanksgiving, they thought I was going through a midlife crisis.
We all did.
Nobody talked to me.
He's still there.
Oh, I guess I did get a little bit of information. I was told halfway down my trip, bring quarters. We're gambling. We're playing for quarters, not big money, but bring quarters. And I'm like, wow, like 5 quarters, like 20 quarters. Like, what do we? He said, we're playing cards. But when I think we're playing cards, I'm thinking we're playing, Uno or 31 or poker, like simple games that everybody in this world knows.
Children's games.
So I stopped like $40 in quarters, which, that's a lot of quarters to be carrying around.
We could hear you walking in.
Yeah.
Your pockets were full.
See me because my pants were falling down because of how heavy these quarters were. So I sit down, I would get introduced to everybody, very, very great people.
And you kept staring at my mustache?
No one stopped. Yeah. Everybody was.
Right. Yeah.
And they're playing games like middle of high card to the right, left, 2 deuce. It sounded like a quarterback playing a call. I'm like, this is not a real game. This is not a game. They're like, well, you lost 75 cents. It after like 7 hands, I'm out of $40 in quarters. They're like, well, we could play again tomorrow night if you want to try your luck. I'm like, I don't even know what just happened. I don't understand any of these games.
Well, I think you and Trevor lost all your money that first
Yeah,
time.
I'm guessing that's how you guys fund this hunting trip because I couldn't figure out any part of the 9 different games that you would change after each hand you lost.
It was dealer's choice. Pick your nose. Whoever has the cards gets to pick the game, and as long as everybody plays the same game.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How many years have you been doing this with this group?
It'll be 40.
That's 40 different games you can pick that nobody knows. You've been doing it that long. This hustle's been going on for the better part of a century.
You got to keep the economy moving.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you, you guys kept it moving that night.
Why I think, if you observed, a lot of people at the card table would get up and go get something to eat and not come back for a couple hours. I think that was their way of not losing as much quarters.
You want to know why they had to call Mama to wire him some money so you keep playing? Because if you didn't know what you were doing, you were out.
So that was just Friday night.
Yes, first night.
First night.
Food, football, because this is prime football season.
Yeah.
So
Drinking, card
we got
play.
our 18-inch black and white TV on, and we have 16 guys huddled around it and another 12 playing quarter cards, and you're a ton of food. That kitchen does not go empty, does it?
No.
I mean, it's full of food. So that's fun.
That's because we don't stop for lunch. All right, I'll get off. Sorry.
Here's the kicker of it. Again, I've hunted Eastern Iowa, and I took a longer break than I should have to hunt. 5 a.m. next morning, Doc Larsen does not hit snooze. Not once, never. Everybody's up. He starts moving, you're moving.
It got awkward because he rolled over and I was staring at him.
Yeah.
I said, Seamus, we got to get, we're burning daylight. Let's go.
Put your clothes on, okay? Like, this is getting kind of wild.
Cup of coffee in my hand. I said, hey, let's go. We got to go to the Leon Fire Department's breakfast,
Which is delicious.
which is at 6 a.m. Nothing tastes better.
That's right.
Super hot black coffee, some good breakfast, and then, you know what? You got to get your mind right. I didn't understand the preparation that comes with this.
It's lack of communication. We've established that. So what did you bring down to slay your deer?
To shoot?
Yeah.
My 450 Bushmaster.
450 Bushmaster.
Dude, oh, that sounds good.
And you're leading up to first season. I got updates from Seamus of how that was a tack driving gun. Fact.
Did it have a confirmed kill before that weekend?
It is not, but I was on the range quite a bit.
It was new. It was built
Yeah.
just for southern Iowa.
It's appropriate.
50 rounds down the pipe, scope sighted in, ready
And
to rock.
just so you know, Seamus is former military, so he knows his way.
Better, okay.
He can handle a gun, if you know what I mean.
Confidence level high.
I've got the text messages to prove it.
And in
yes.
this preparation, you had sustenance, you had energy, you got rest.
I got rest. That's fun because you guys won't stop playing cards till 1 in the morning. So, okay, I'm still in the game. I'm not going to complain. I can go on 5 hours.
Well, and I just want to point out the cards stopped getting played at 1 a.m. The giggling and drinking still goes on a little bit longer.
Yes, not me. I've got the Irish dip out figured out. I'm disappearing. But I don't know. Realistically, I don't know. I'll go a little serious with it, and actually probably something most people should do, and I bet they don't. We show up at the farm where everybody meets up. So now there's 25 trucks. It's a big group. I didn't realize that group doubled in the morning. And
It's like rabbits.
Todd and Doc Richards, when they say, everybody gather around, it's the talking stops. This isn't kindergarten class. We're not still messing around. Everybody gets around. I don't know the people that are around me, but I know that like when they say it and everybody starts moving in, it's safety brief time. It's a solid program. And I get to actually see from an aerial view on a map that's like covered in plastic or whatever you want to call it, so you can see it clearly. In this Seamus, you're right here. Not here, not here. You're right here. And you walk straight. You don't walk left. You don't walk right. You walk straight. And this is your lane. And then you see where everybody's going to be. So the safety portion of this made me feel awesome. Like,
Cool.
right? Oh, cool. That's a big deal. What I didn't realize that on a map, it looks like a much smaller walk than what it really is.
Well, so let's take it. So the first push was Doc's Timber.
Yep.
And we've established in previous podcasts, Doc's Timber has a lot of ravines, crevices, cracks, trees, whatever, and they don't run north, south, east, west. So once you go down and come out, game on, right?
Yeah, correct.
And
There's a
how
lot of deer there.
how are you with knowing north, south, east, and west?
That's not hard for me. I know how to walk, but on the push is also very safe because you're talking to the guy to the left of you, to the right of you. You might not be able to see him, but you can definitely hear him. That's how you know you're in line. Shooting lanes, right? That's huge. I've never been a part of this, but I will tell you, halfway through this first push, which felt like 12 hours, they're yelling my name, Seamus. I'm like, what? It's like a barrel. My 450 Bushmaster turned into a cane. I was using it to climb up these damn ravines, and I'm almost positive, you guys don't have to tell me, I'm almost positive he did that on purpose. Like, people quit that ravine once a year. And they're like, okay, give it to the new guy. He's got
The gun feel heavier after you started walking than when you started walking?
4 pounds turns to 40 pretty quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this isn't even the worst walk I've ever done. This is
We'll get into the worst
week-
walk you've ever done later.
that week. But then we get to the end, and you start seeing where the shooters are at, right? The people you're pushing to do.
But before we get there, I have it on good authority that someone may have fallen during that push.
yeah. So one of the ravines,
I saw a
Or did you roll down?
No, I saw a tree on the other side. It wasn't a steep ravine, but it was coming up, and I couldn't run anymore. Like, I wasn't going to do the run down fast and try to get up halfway up the hill and just.
Use your momentum.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, like I'm hurting right now. Right now, I have not prepared conditionally for this. I've never done a walk like this.
Lack of
before.
communication. Hey, Todd and I have talked about training today, but we probably won't before.
But I see this little baby tree.
Halfway up the next little ravine. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to take 3 good steps, and I'm going to jump. And I have a sling on my gun, so I put it behind me, and it's on safe, whatever. And I jump, and I'm going to grab that tree for dear life.
And then
a baby tree.
it's a baby tree. I mean, it's like around.
Without divulging anything, what are your parameters? What are your height?
Okay, I'm saying I'm 6'1", about 280. I'll tell you, like, a baby tree should probably be a little thicker than the one I grabbed. It doesn't matter because I didn't get a chance to grab it. Because I was going to say in my head, I'm like, I'm still athletic. I'm nimble. I walk on cat speed. I go down. I was getting ready to take my second step before I take my leaping step, and both feet came out from underneath me. And I rammed my butt so hard. And I stumbled down the bottom of this ravine, and I laid there. And I got up like real slow because I mean, people were yelling for my name or enemies. So I had to catch up. And I like, dude, I just busted my ass. I think I broke my tailbone. First drive, I'm not saying a word to nobody, but I got nervous because I landed on top of my gun and I had my sling behind me. So like, it's fine. But I've never hunted with the scope before either. So I was like, I don't know how fast these things move.
So then we get to the end of the push, and a deer pops up.
It wasn't just any deer.
It was fairly decent size.
It was a monster buck that ran right off Doc's or Steve.
Between Seamus and Steve, and I didn't have a safe shot, but Seamus got some shots off, and that started the discussion that he thought his scope was off.
That's not true. Steve took 3 shots.
I know.
Steve took 3 shots.
I can't
within
remember.
30 yards, and I might actually even laughing, but because this deer did bust out of nowhere and he was moving.
That might be fake news.
Everybody's left to right to you, but you never run. You had clear daylight behind us,
And that deer galloped right down the road. And I just heard ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. At that point in time, your lack of hitting that deer at that close, I was starting to get nervous. Like, man, if I tell people, he might get made fun of. He just invited me on this nice hunting trip, so I'm not going to say nothing.
You are always welcome to tell the truth, Sean.
I do know this now. But yeah, so, and it was probably at that point in time a solid 8. Like, it was a 130 solid 8. It was a big buck.
Bad.
Yeah. And he walked around looking for blood. I'm like, there ain't no blood. He didn't. I saw tree leaves moving well away from this. But, then you have to go through another ravine. So the pain comes back. You stop forgetting, but on to the next deer. And I took up crack shots, and I did hit my target. So my scope was good.
Then we get to push 2.
Push 2.
Was Deer Alley.
Push two was what almost made me quit hunting all the
Yeah. Then this is where the story gets better, right?
Well, for some.
Well, and knowing that Seamus was sweating, and knowing that he needed to post the next
So I'm in a shooting position.
Deer Alley, we put him in a very good spot at Deer Alley,
He had an assignment, 50-50 opportunities for walking or block.
and so that was like, what is that, a 2.5 hour push, whatever.
And I always try to do 50-50 push walk.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I don't think I can give you 51 walk. I can tell you that much. I don't know if it's 51 walk, but like 50-50, I think I can get
The
through.
point of the story is we got done with that push. I'm trying to regroup with Seamus, and he's walking with his head down, ghostly whining. Hey, Seamus, What happened? What happened?
So it's a wall. It's a giant, just mile-long wall, and you have about 100 yards to your right, 100 yards to your left. So everybody's within seeing distance, which is unfortunate for me at this moment. But you got tall grass in front of you, and it goes down a hill. So the tall grass kind of keeps you from seeing what's coming at you. And I'm standing right to the right side of a big ravine. And I look at the bottom, and I see like 4 bucks in the doe just deciding where they're going to run. And they're not small bucks. They're not babies.
I believe the comment you told me, those were the biggest bucks I've ever seen in person.
Well, that was at that moment in my life.
Yeah, right. Yes.
About 7 minutes later, that came. Because now they move in, and they're about 150 yards away. And I'm thinking, like, there's no one down there. This is my shooting alley. This is my time.
You're on it, right? Because you got a tack driving 450.
I'm just, don't miss an opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
What I didn't realize was when you do it when they're 150 yards away from you, they'll just run right at you when you're trying to reload. And I missed every freaking shot at 150 yards. And I turn around and I see them, because they don't know where I'm at, but they just know to get shot at them. And they're running right up this gully. And I'm standing 7 feet, maybe 10 feet at most off this gully. And they all pop up. And I didn't see one body. All I saw was a handful of racks in the grass moving.
Deer racks.
Deer bucks. Big old racks, yeah. The ones that weekend you care about. And they stopped on the edge of the grass, and I'm trying to reload, and my heart's pounding out of its chest.
Did they kick you in the leg as they ran by?
For a guy who's as peaceful and nice as you, Doc, you do sure yell loud. Because all I heard was, shoot him! What are you waiting for? And I'm like, I'm trying to reload. And these guys bust out. And one probably could have peed on me, marked me with his scent. And it was...
Hickey was a term used last week by Doc.
Yeah, to be fair, might still have it. That's why we're turtlenecks now. And it came so close to me. And by the time I finally got my shells in, I turn around. Those big deer, they're 200 yards down the road in no time. There's nothing you can do.
Nope. Yep.
And I'm just like, God, please just give me one to fall. Accidental walk. But I mean, it was a clean shot. They were moving. I don't know. I knew at that moment I wanted to quit and turn my guns in, sound the shields, and just be like, you know what? I'm going to go and save trees, because this hunting is not for me anymore. My confidence was so rattled. The rest of the day, I couldn't tell you what happened the rest of the day.
Well, so part 2 of that story,
Steve can.
I can't, right?
No, you can. Yeah.
Was because it was later that day on Saturday. We put you on the corner at Half a Days.
Oh, gosh, that was the same day, wasn't it? Yes.
Because remember, so it will build up to it. I'm going to be the spoiler alert, right? Because you had thought your scope was off. So you said, hey, I can't live with myself. I've got to go dial in the scope Sunday. So you didn't come hunting Sunday because let's finish part 2 of Saturday, right? Because part 2 of Saturday, more big deer ran right beside you, right?
Todd is such a grateful human being and just a great guy. Like, he goes, listen, it happens to everybody. Now, when there's other people around, I'm going to make fun of you. But since it's just me and you, I'm gonna talk to you like we're friends and just say, I'm going to put you in a position, you're going to see deer. So me and Steve, we go down there, and you wouldn't believe it. 2 monster bucks come running right out in front of us. Like, they even stopped. It looked our direction, and I shot 3 times. And at that point in time, I had shot so much that day that my gun jammed because I had to put oil in it. It was overheating. I was shooting so much that day.
At big deer. You've shot so many times at big deer.
Oh, no small deer. Oh, no small deer. I'm talking every one of the deer I shot at were world class. This is why I want to hunt an Iowa deer.
Well, and just so everybody knows, Seamus has a spot on his wall for that deer.
Oh, he's come. I know he's living.
Yep.
Now it's just who can outsmart who. I know where he's living. And this last year, that was the first year.
That was the first year.
And I did go back and target practice, and I came back for the last push of the day. And
that's right.
And then I hunted Monday.
Oh, that's right.
Monday.
The Monday gentleman hunt.
Monday was the day I decided if you know what, if maybe my time has come.
Well, and I believe that was, we were walking the lake.
Walking the lakeside.
That's correct.
And it gets woolly and hairy.
Woolly and hairy. That's the best way you're going to play.
It's thick.
It is
thick.
Sharp thorns, steep ravines, and no trails. There's nothing to walk on this. I got caught up in a bushel of thorns so thick that I actually had to set my gun out and just fall. Just let my body fall because I couldn't get out of it.
Is that when you laid on the ground and said, I'm just going to die right here. Don't get me.
The thorn part happened the first third of the push. And this is day 3. My legs were done.
Oh, yeah.
I've had no idea what you guys were.
Well, in fact, Shamus goes, Steve, how do you do this? I don't know if that was a compliment or him knowing how out of shape I am, but he said, how do you do this?
It's like, I remember deer hunting to be fun. Like, I don't think it's fun at all. I don't remember right now. Like, I'd rather be at home with my wife yelling at me. Like, this is terrible. But that was the first third I fought. I was just thinking, I was dreaming that a genie would give me a machete just so I could get through some of this stuff. The middle half is what it is. It's just up and down. But my legs are getting gassed. And now we're coming to the back third. And the back third was like, you hope you're going to catch a break today? And God is like, not today. And I saw a forest of pine trees that the only way to get through was about 3.5 feet and down. And you can't walk through them. It's too thick. And I remember doing the old true army crawl. I put my Bushmaster on my elbows and I started army crawling through the pine needles and all the deer crap. And I remember actually seeing a lot of deer running. And I said, screw it. I am done hunting. I'm just trying to make it out of these trees.
Alive.
It's 200 yards of army crawling through this. And I'm sweating profusely. At least these pine needles are kind of cool. And Todd sees me from wherever he's at. And he's like, I'm over here. I'm like, just shoot. If you hit me, you hit me. I'm good. I was not taking one more inch. And I roll over on my back and I looked up at the bottom of this pine tree and I said, I'm taking a nap. And if I die, I die. And I laid there for 10 minutes. This push was so far over before I could find my way out of these woods that they had shot a deer and tracked it 200 yards before I even came out. Like, I was a half hour behind getting out of those woods. And I'm like, I will never walk that one again.
You made it.
Barely. Oh,
That drive falls into the special assignment category. And I would say everybody that hunts on Monday has done that. So when you say it was that bad, yeah, it was that bad.
Everybody's done it.
Yeah.
And everybody knew, and everybody's giving each other the wink, the thumbs up, and I'm not paying attention to the signals here.
That's a little bit excessive.
I didn't feel excessive.
If anything, it's life-changing skills to make sure you're not in that lane again.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That's awesome.
right.
We got some zero out of that drive, though. Here's at the end of the day, when you see meat on the floor, it's a win.
Definitely.
And we have some good shooters in this group. I mean, we have some people that can knock down some deer, and you all want to be one.
They weren't shooting on Monday though.
Are their names Steve and Todd, Shamus?
They are.
Hey. Oh, thank you.
They are.
Appreciate it.
They are. And in fact, I remember a great hunt you had on Monday last year. Remember that? And I forgot to open up the window behind me, and all those deer were just walking right behind me. I could hear them, but I couldn't see them. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like, it's a zip.
You think they were 5 yards away?
Oh, I mean, if you can hear deer walks, they're close.
They're close.
And it wasn't like it was leaves over there. I mean, these guys were sneaking by me, and I could hear. It was a minute of just something walking behind me, kept blowing, so there's a line of deer. And I know once I popped up my head on the left-hand side, and I heard where Todd's at, and he's shooting. And it's getting to be about 20 minutes from.
Was that the bulletproof deer that Todd shot 1,000 times?
I just
one deer went
I
down.
just remember it being so dark at night with flashlights trying to find blood that we all knew wasn't there.
Gee, you could have stopped so long ago. That story. Whoa, I learned a lot. Bulletproof deer, yes, was the answer to that question.
Yes, it was bulletproof.
That might have been the day that we've got the blind with the pails.
Yep.
And there was a deer eating off the bale with somebody in the blind.
Yeah.
And everybody's wondering, why isn't he shooting that deer? I couldn't see it.
They're crafty. They're crafty. Well, cool. So welcome to Southern Iowa is how the story.
Hey, he came back.
That's right.
I'll always come, and I'll tell you what, maybe there's a time in the future where I just come back as a chef. I don't know, but I will sit here and say that group of guys that you guys,
Chuck-legged cook.
that you introduced me to, that's a fun, safe environment. Like, just everybody you're out there with wants you to succeed. They're going to bust your chops. Man, it's a good group.
It's a good group.
100% good group.
Nobody rides for free, right?
Yeah.
Nobody rides for free. Well, everybody's going to want to know, have you been training for this year? So it is the end of September. This podcast will come out about the 1st of October. So we've got October and November. We got 8 weeks, 60 days.
You can hold your breath for 60 days. I know I have not started training for this one.
But I've been thinking about it.
I did buy a weighted vest in ankle weights.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm Well, you take that off when you're out in the field, it's going to be a little bit lighter. Maybe they'll be a little more nimble.
You can pull more deer then.
Before they end this without the real story, I got my deer last year.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I got a little buck.
You did.
I mean, he ran into me.
Almost in the same spot that you were in the first year at Deer Alley where all those big deer ran by. Almost in the same spot.
No, it wasn't Deer Alley.
I got one at the lake or the campground.
Yeah, that's Deer Alley.
Oh, that's your alley.
Yep.
No one who hunts would ever believe the amount of world-class deer that I saw in one day that I could have shot. And I remember seeing a monster. I couldn't count it because he was like, staring at me, so I froze. But like,
We were next to each other. They got out behind us.
and that's the one I think this year I have a game plan for.
We've established my deer harvesting ability is 0 the last 2 years.
It's your year, Steve. It's your year.
I turned 50 this year. I got to have something, right?
Game on.
You didn't get much to shoot at last year, did you?
No, I'm a ninja, right? I don't need much.
The pressure's on then, but we'll get a plan later.
I can't believe you find somebody else that sucks at hunting. You use them to make fun of their.
We don't suck at hunting. We can use some improvement.
It's all practice, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, and was it James's first year when all those deer ran by him and the scope was too powered up to shoot them?
Only 25.
There's a pattern with people I bring into the group, is what I'm saying. What I've learned is you want to be by those people I bring to the group.
The luck can be shared.
It's not so much luck. It's just like, the once in a lifetime opportunity that you'll never get again because they're going to come by the new guy. They're going to come right by.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is.
I might have a new guy, so this is good. Well, this has been good discussion, Seamus. Appreciate you sharing all the stories, and it's good to see Steve has a great memory for what everybody else is.
So what's that adage? Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's right.
Usually the best stories.
Right, 100%.
No, this is good. Thank you to Berkwood Pork. For hosting
The world headquarters.
the microphones. As we wrap this up, everybody, remember you mentioned Ag, Ammo, and Adventure, 10% off for Berkwood Farms, and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Nope. And you're welcome 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday and 10 to 2 on Saturdays.
If you call and you can be a few minutes late, we'll wait for you.
Whoa, you can't beat that, can you?
I know who's cooking.
Nice. Big thanks to Seamus Wilkerson for joining us today, sharing insights on Berkwood Farms, swapping hunting stories, and surviving his first year hunting in southern Iowa. If you want to learn more about Berkwood, head over to www.betterpork.com. You can also give them a call at area code 515-331-2070, or you can stop by their world headquarters at 6615 Northeast 14th Street in Des Moines, Iowa, 50313. And here's the kicker. October is National Pork Month, or as we like to call it, Porktober. If you swing by Berkwood HQ and mention you heard about them on the Ag, Ammo, and Adventure podcast, you'll get 10% off your first purchase through the end of the month. That's right, premium pork, a little podcast pride, and a discount to boot. Support local, eat well, and if you see Seamus in the woods, maybe offer to walk with him. Those deer are still running victory laps.